Okay, sorry for the poor lighting out here, but here's the story. I'm taking this small engine course I talked about a few weeks ago in a video, and you know, I started off with pretty much just very basic knowledge, and now I have probably advanced basic knowledge. So I come here to Oklahoma where my mom lives. She's got about 15-20 acres here, right? This has not worked in several years, and so my goal is to get it to work. Let me tell you what I did. Again, I'm sorry for the poor lighting, but I can't push this out. It's too much of a hassle. Okay, so we believe, first of all, I changed the battery out. This is a Kubota G2000. This thing would try to start, but it would never start. Just rah, 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 you know. It's been a couple years, so I don't even remember, but I put a new battery in it. That didn't fix it. I just this weekend decided to take the starter off because there's some other people that looked at this and we believe it's a starter. Okay, so this is the starter. Let me bring it in the light. This is the starter. We think this is the problem. I will be diagnosing this issue. So that's what I just showed you. And that went right here. There's just two bolts, bolt here, bolt here. I use this little stick to kind of gather the three or four things that go on one side of the starter. And then this goes on the other side. I believe this is the negative, positive, negative. When I first started to work on this, I forgot to undo the battery and I got a shower of sparks. It just scared me. I undid the battery, of course. I learned my lesson. It didn't hurt or anything. Anyway, this bolt's here and here, and there's a nut inside of there that went on the other side that I dropped and it lost, and I lost it forever because we looked and looked and looked and I cannot find that damn thing. So I'm gonna have to find another nut. Okay, so I'm gonna have my instructor diagnose that starter and see if it's a bad starter. I almost hope it is a bad starter, because if it is, we just have to replace that. But it's something like anywhere from $165 to $225, and you get a rebate or something if you bring it back in. Okay, so we went to open up this thing yesterday, and there were a whole bunch of nuts and seeds and crap. A mouse had been living in here. It's a very common thing. A lot of guys bring these mowers in, and they have nuts and seeds and stuff because animals love the shelter. So I figured it's probably best to leave this open. There'll be less shelter here. Anyway, I started getting in the spark plugs and there was crap all around there. So I pulled these off, you know, and I actually replaced those, but they were pretty hard because so much junk had fallen in there. I got the shop vac out and I had to sweep inside there really well. And a couple pieces I had a really hard time getting the spark plug tool down in there because there was so much crap, but the shop vac came up. I was actually surprised to see 3 spark plugs. I've never worked on anything more than 1 spark plug. This right here is those laundry towels, those laundry sheets you put in the laundry. We heard that they will keep mice away, so we put that there temporarily. I suggested we use mothballs, but my mom does not like them at all. I don't know why she cares, because this is way up in the garage, but anyway, so I replaced the spark plugs and I used a shop vac to suck that all out. My question is this the oil reserve right here? See, the problem with this is there's no dipstick. I would think, I've never seen a non-dipstick oil reserve, so I'm not going to assume that that's what that is. I'm not going to do that. I was going to say I know what I don't know, and I never assume anything. But I think somebody else, the oil was changed fairly recently, so that's not necessary. So I changed the spark plugs. I took the starter off, and the air filter, I do believe, is right here. When I took that off, this big cylinder came out, and it looks a lot different than what I thought it would. I'm not going to do it right now, it's a pain, but it's just it's a big cylinder with plastic and metal around. It's not just like the air filter by itself, so I'm sure it's going to be expensive. Anyway, the next part of this is hoping that that starter was bad, and that would mean that replacing it would fix it. It's got a new battery. This tire down here was flat. several, 2 or 3 years ago, and I replaced it, and like we came back up here and it was flat again, which is weird. But what I did was you just take screwdriver, you pop this off, you take the entire wheel off. It's pretty easy. Forgot how to do that, but we took the entire wheel off and had them replace it down at the shop, farm shop. But brand new tire, but it's never rolled on it. Well, that's it. This is our Kubota. I hope I get it working. I will make a follow-up video, but it's going to take a while because I do not live anywhere near this house, so it takes me a couple months to get down here.